Thank you very much, colleagues, and thank you to the organizers. When I received Marina's email inviting me to be a respondent, two things came to mind. First, you have to go and check whether your pension fund is in order because it means you're getting old. If you are being invited as a respondent to conferences. This is the first time I'm doing that, so my second thing that I have to get off my chest is that it means I'm clueless about what I'm doing. And thank you to our presenters. That was very beautiful. I think I want to pick up on a few things that came out of Vijay's presentation. The idea of the need for a variation of views of the public, and therefore the need also for different voices in our research processes, in our public engagement. And when she showed us the similarities that have, regardless of which end of the spectrum that we are, it says one thing, that we all have a similar need to be engaged with the research that is supposed to bring change and transformation. And we all have the same need or a similar need to be part of the process and not just to get engaged or to have communication after the process is over. And that is what I'm going to talk to later on in my presentation. And that tied in very nicely with what Beverly has just shown us, the fact that they are now, as vets, moving into what we talked about earlier, the institutionalization of science communication, but also creating a kind of a space for researchers or for scientists to know that this is a professional path. Because one of the things that we said yesterday are missing a lot is the fact that science communication, public engagement as a pathway to professionalization is not visible. So it is encouraging to see that there's funds that are being set aside. There's a team of people that are actually investing their time in saying that this needs to be professionalized, but also institutionalized and made visible. So in a way, the HSRC is also engaged in this kind of institutionalization through a project on engaged research. So with everything that is happening around us, with the need that Vijay talks about, with what Beverly is talking about, the institutionalization, what became evident for us as the HSRC is that there already is a lot of work that is happening on public engagement. And there's already many people, many researchers that are committed to public engagement. But this happens in a haphazard manner, not really very coordinated at the NSI, and we need to somehow move towards a way in which we not only encourage the existence of a community of practice, but also some kind of a coordinated framework. And the NRF was kind enough to give us money to work towards this dream of a coordinated framework towards engaged research. Now, I can't see this. Now, this is some kind of a theory of change that we developed for this particular project. The project started this year. It's going to take 5 years. And what we have seen is that projects of this nature, or mainstreaming engaged research and developing this coordinated approach, needs two things. It needs the knowledge side of things. That is where we look at the research that is available and what is the evidence that is already there about engaged research. But it also calls for practical mechanisms. So in practice, how are we building this coordinated research? So the project is going to run for 5 years, and across the 3 phases of the project, there's going to be both the practice side, and the knowledge side. So in phase one, what we are doing is that we are trying to understand the landscape of engaged research in the NSI. So we try to understand, firstly, who are the engaged researchers, those that are already the converted, who do we still have to convert? Who are the people that have knowledge on this? Who are those that we can work with as our stakeholders? So in this first phase of the project, firstly, we are doing an evidence synthesis and evidence mapping exercise where we look at the body of knowledge, the body of research on engaged research, but we are also doing stakeholder mappings to find out who are the people, what are their practices, what are they interested in, how can we work with them towards this coordinated approach. The second phase is going to be a big conference that I am going to invite all of you to come to. That is going to be sometime next year. That is where we start now sharing all this knowledge that we have, but also the practices and knowledges of other stakeholders on engaged research in order to work towards a coordinated approach. Now, one of the things that we really want to do is to bring together people. My colleagues are here, called it speed dating of the practitioners, and that didn't sit well with our ethics committee, so we had to call it seminars. Like, yeah, it's seminars. So we are going to have seminars where we bring together the people that are doing engaged research and those that we think will benefit from knowing who is in the practice. So that is going to be the conference and the special issue journal. And we are also going to work with the NRF towards the last phase of the project to upscale this by doing a call for projects on engaged research on a larger basis. So while we are building these frameworks, we are also working towards institutionalization of the engaged research principles in our research practices. And all this noise about research, engaged research, like our two speakers have said, is all about trying to find out ways in which the research that we do can actually reach out to the societies that we want to impact. That's the whole idea behind it. How do we do that in a way that we bring in different voices into the research process and into the science communication process? And how do we do that in a way that the research is visible? Science communication, public engagement, whatever you call it, but it has to be visible. Now, one of the interesting things is that when we started the project, we started off with, because everyone we were inviting as a stakeholder was, what is the definition, the working definition that we are using for engaged research? So we went out on a wild goose chase to get a definition of engaged research. The team that was working on that are sitting there. They went through months and months of literature review trying to find the definition that we can use. I'm happy to say to you that we still don't have a definition because that is how diverse it is. But all we know is that it means really getting the different voices in the research process, getting the different knowledges in the research process, and working towards societal transformation as a team of all kinds of knowledge holders. Now, in order to end my presentation, I'd like to play a 2-minute video of what some of our colleagues, and I'm laughing because I didn't ask for permission for some people that are in the video for me to play the video, and they are here. I will ask for permission afterwards. Where is it? I saved it on your... This one. Yeah.
This transdisciplinary nature of...
Does anyone know how to share
Oh. Oh, here we go.
of engaged research is so central to what we're discussing, you know, because so often we can be siloed in our approach to research, you know, and really that doesn't lead to the greatest impact, you know, or the greatest relevance, as you said, of that research, you know. So really by bringing in different voices and different levels of expertise and areas of expertise into the research process, we add so much value to our own research as researchers, but also to the broader context in which we exist, you know.
So, thinking about engaged research and what it is, I mean, I think one of the key things we really have to be mindful of in the HSRC is understanding that the more we engage with partners, wherever those partners are, so whether that is civil society, whether that is communities, whether that's government, the more we engage in thinking about our research, shaping those research questions, the more we include them in those deliberations, thinking about doing the research, the greater the chances are when we get to this magical moment in research where we've collected the data, we've got results, and we've got evidence, the greater the chances are that they're going to want to use that evidence. They'll be interested in it. And so for me, at the heart of engagement is recognizing and realizing that if we take partners along with us on this research journey, we're going to end up with research and evidence that has a greater chance of being used, of being taken up, being translated, transferred into policy, transferred into some implementation or some program. And ultimately, the greater the chance that we're going to have impact. So
on that note, colleagues, we have just started this project, and this is an invitation to all of us to say, can you talk to us? We would like you to be our stakeholder in the project. We want to really make sure that we have as diverse number of voices and views and opinions as possible. And the good thing about it is that we are not going to ask for money. I need to put it out there. So you talk to us. I would like to just say my team, Nonku and Sahia and Marilyn are here. If you want to talk to us, we are really very open for views and opinions and shaping up the project. Thank you very much.